Now the aside. And I'm just going to go ahead and give them the same height for now. Yeah, I'm trying to set it up so that I can bring one of y'all up here so we can talk through it. That's why there's there's no width. Let me trying to set this up so we can get someone up here for demonstration purposes. All right, so what we want to do is I need a volunteer. We're going to talk through this. I know someone wants to do it. All right, come on up. So all I've done is just... Okay.
This is Rob, everybody.
Bob.
Bob? Sorry.
All right, Bob. So what we want to do is we want to align, the main. We want the main to have, 70% width of the page. And we want a side to have 30% width of the page, right? Actually, this is going to be really easy because, so naturally they're pushed. Actually, go back to the main thing. And if you just do Command Tab, that'll go back and forth.
Okay.
Command R refreshes the page.
Can I
When you're over here, Command S. Yeah, if you want to.
Side by side, so we got the
Yeah.
command what? Command tab?
Yep. There you go. All right, so far on the site, we have the main and the aside, and they're pushed all the way away from each other. Does anybody remember why they're doing that? Do what?
Which are the two? Flex X?
Yeah, so the justify content, remember, there's a container class here, and then we're using a container class here, so it automatically pushed, it took the same style properties and pushed them away, right? So we're going to need to be more specific on the way we define the difference in the containers, right? So first step, what we want to do is be more specific in the way we used the the justify content and the line items on the container.
Container here?
Yeah, so see how we...
Okay, so justify content, you got space between them, and you want to be...
We want to be more specific because we don't want it to interact with this div class container down here. So what's the difference? What's one determining factor in this container up here? This one, where is it at versus where this one's at?
It's above it, right?
Right. And well, what's it inside of?
So
Let's look at this HTML page.
it's the header versus
There you go.
the
So
body.
yeah, so one way we can describe it is it's inside that header, right?
Yeah, the first container is inside the header. The second container is inside the body.
Yep. And so we already have a rule here that says the container with inside the header. So let's just go ahead and add those two lines to that rule, right?
What two lines are we adding?
These justify content and the align items.
All right.
Try using that. It's a little, at least for me, it's easier.
Whoops, what did I do?
On
function.
Macs, it's all command instead of
Okay,
function.
so that's gonna be a
So
function.
command, do command, hold command. Yep, there you go. Yeah, he's working over here.
Yeah, no, I got it.
So what he's doing is he's grabbing both of these. He's going to move this right there.
So,
And then go ahead and delete those.
delete it back there?
Yep. I think that mouse, yeah, the mouse is easier. Delete that. So we still want every container to have that width. We want it to be centered, and we want it to have a display of flex, right? Okay, so what are some of the defaults in flex? So how is this going to, yep.
The header container, do you not have to mention flex in that?
So go back to the code real quick. So all of our containers, no matter what it's in, as long as anything has a class of container, it's going to have these properties. It's going to have that width properties, the margin property, and it's going to have that display property, right? This is saying, so for all containers, or all items with a class of container, this is saying on as well for any container that's within the header section, it has this height, justify the content, and align the items, right? So this header container is also going to have these properties as well. Yes, sir.
If you had moved the header container below the container, would that negate all the properties from the dot container?
No, because the reason why is, well, one, none of these attribute value pairs right here conflict, right? And then they're different levels of specificity, right? So this is going to pertain to every container, and this is going to pertain to every container, but only the ones that are, every container of the ones that are inside header, right? So this is a little more specific. So it didn't matter, it wouldn't matter if this was above or below this, because they have different levels of specificity. All right? Yep. He asked if the stuff in the header container would negate anything in the container if we moved it below. Got it. Thanks for the reminder. All right. Go ahead. What?
So if you want to specify something in the other container that's in the body but not in the header,
Right.
can you just say body dot container for in the CSS and it won't affect the one that's in the header?
Well, that one's also in the body.
I know it is, but that's
You could,
the
you could.
body dot container. Will it affect both of them?
Yeah, it'll affect both
It
of them.
will.
Would it be possible to give the header across the container instead of creating a different container? Since the header container.
Yeah, the only, okay, so like you're talking about move this div up here. The only problem with that is we specified a width on it, right? 970 pixels. So that background color that we gave the header would only be that width. It wouldn't go all the way to the edge of the page.
All right, well, here's my question.
Does that make sense?
Suppose you want to change it so that the main, this red strip is 2/3 and that one over there is 1/3.
We haven't gone over this yet.
I know, but in order to do that, you have to be able to specify how the flex applies to just that section. And right now, because of the way it's set up, anything you do to the container is also going to affect this container up here. How do you specify the CSS for just the one container without the other, the way it's set up right now?
So we're gonna,
Give whatever you're going to do a class for
yeah,
something that specified.
yeah. So we're gonna be more, yeah, we're gonna give it another class, or you can give it an ID, either one. Yeah. So let's save this. So just Command S, and then let's go back over to our page. And before you refresh, we no longer have the space between, and we no longer have the align item. So can someone predict when he refreshes what this page is going to look like? Where are these two items going to be at? To the left, right? Because that's flex start is the default values. So go ahead and refresh that page. So we have them pushed to the left. All right, now if you'll go to a complete guide, that guide up there, scroll up to the top. Remember Todd started talking about the right side here yesterday, right? And it gets a little more complicated once you go into the items themselves. You have order, so you could give them, an order in which they appear, and I'll show you that in a second. We'll switch up. Actually, let's do it now. Let's go ahead and go into the CSS stay up there on order, and then go into go into the. So let's give the main. Let's just create a CSS rule for main. Oh, we already have one. Nice. So just say order. And go ahead and give it an order of, you got caps lock on. Go ahead and give it an order of 2. And then give a side an order of 1. Save that. Yep. And then Command Tab. Yep. And you can do Command. Oh, no, we're not there yet. Here, let me see something real quick. Go back over to the. Yeah, you got it.
Command tab and then whoops.
No, you good. You good?
Oh, all right.
So we have the order. And then we change the order of these so that main has a 2 and a side has 1. So reload the page. You can just do Command R. And now you see them switch, right? So they come, this one comes first in the HTML. This one comes first or second in the HTML, but since we switched the order, they just switch sides, right? So let's go back. And then, go back to a complete guide. Scroll down some. I'm going to stay away from the flex grow and flex shrink property for now, but this flex basis, outside of giving it like a score of 0 or auto, you can kind of think of the flex basis, and there's more complex ways to go into this, but you can kind of think of the flex basis as width. So we can set the flex basis of the main and the aside. Remember, because naturally, without us saying wrap or without us saying wrap, right, on the whole entire container, it tries to keep it all on one line, right? So if we want to keep the main 70 or 75% of the screen, and we want to keep the aside, the remaining thing, we can give the main a flex basis of 75% and the aside a flex basis of 25%. All right? So let's go ahead and do that. No, because we did I think we did the border box.
How do I get
Here, hold down that command. Hold down that command. Don't let go of it, and just push one at a time. And then when you got to the right one, let go. Did we do border box at the top? Scroll up. Oh, no, we didn't. Sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead and put in.
where?
You can do it at the very top with the asterisk. Remember that? get confused on it here. Let's look, because I always get confused.
Border box is the value, right?
Box sizing.
Oh, box size, that's what I meant.
And then just, you good? Doesn't want to go.
Okay.
There we go. We got it. We got border. All right. So now we're going to go down to main and aside. And take out that order. Oh, no, do them individually.
So take out the order.
Yeah, we want to keep that regular, natural order. And then just do go to each one individually, and choose how big you want main to be. So flex basis, and then give it a percentage.
And what are we doing?
Let's do
70%?
sure. Whatever you
Do we use percents or do we use
percents.
decimals?
Percents.
Okay.
All right, very nice. Nice and simple, right? No clears, no floats. Go ahead and use your mouse and resize the screen just so we can see it. Well, I guess actually, never mind. That's not going to work because the container's not going to resize. It would resize with the screen, right? If we didn't have the container limiting, saying that it's always 970 pixels. So let's take a 15-minute break here, and you guys try to reproduce that. Try to build it from scratch, like we did, and reproduce it on your computer.